Hello. Hello. Hi, friends. Hi, YouTube world. Hi, Rose. If you're here or when you come back, I only changed what time I was coming on 3 times. I should have just left it at the 3:30 because here I am at 333, my favorite number. 9. 3 threes. Yeah, and I didn't make it to the post office. Hi, Heidi. How are you? Hi, Victoria. Nice to meet you. Um, yeah, I didn't make it to the post office or, the store real quick, but I did. Everything is invoiced. The boxes are packed. The shipping labels are on them. So Monday morning, I just have to go drop them off and they will go out Monday afternoon. Woo! And, some of that is just because I have chronic pain and I live by myself on a homestead. And some of it is because my business has gone back to where it was prior to my father passing. And it's a mixture of stuff. And the way that I've been putting things aside is not working very well. So, yes, my lucky number, 333, always has been a 3. And then 3 threes is the best. And 33 also makes 9. So it's a whole weird thing. I'm weird. So this whole office area is a total mess and discombobulated. It worked okay when I had a closet system. Now I don't have that. And then everything's just thrown together. And so, like I said, that will be fixed in March. But also, the way everything has been being put down here, when I go to pack things up and invoice out, I have this huge box filled with all these tiny bags, and I have to poke through and pick through. So that'll stop really soon. And that'll make it so that I can just boom, close the box. Boom, get it out. Thank the goddess. Thank you, Heidi. And that's the other thing. I've learned to live with, chronic upper body fibromyalgia pain. But I'm still learning how to live with lower back pain. And I don't understand it. I don't, because fibromyalgia, I know I studied it for 2 years intensely, journaling and doing something called WRAP, W-R-A-P, Wellness Recovery Action Plan. I am an MSW degree therapist, but I learned about WRAP way before I got that degree. And it took 2 years for me to figure out, if I do this, it's going to wind up causing this much pain. If I do this, I can't plan anything for the next day. If I do this, I'll be okay. If I do it in this way, I'll be okay, etc., etc. And what are the pain thresholds and levels? Well, I don't understand that with my back, because my back will be fine and I'll be doing nothing but sitting, and I stand up and it's in screaming pain. Or I'm sitting and I get up and my back is fine. Yeah, I don't know. But I'll get there, y'all. I'll get there, y'all. So today is Friday. It's a fun day for me, usually. 95% of the time. Where it's a sale and I bring, different pieces of costume vintage jewelry, sometimes semi-precious vintage, sometimes a brand new piece, usually medium to higher end price, but my higher end price, except for a few items, generally tends to still be low compared to other sellers because of what I sell. And I talk about what I know from doing this for 30 years about what something is and why I think it's this decade and the clarity of this, and look at the prong setting on that, and look for the maker's mark, and look at these jump rings, or look at how this is stamped metal, not cut metal, or this looks like tiny wire filigree, but it's not, it's machine stamped. But even still, in this particular piece, it's older. However, generally speaking, when you see that, it would mean that you're into the really industrialized jewelry, 70s and above, right? So even though they still do the tiny wire work now, so it's just from me touching things and doing it for so long. But I am not an expert. I am not an expert, and I get things wrong, and that's the way it is. That's the way it is. And I still am having a sale, and I still hope to and would like to be able to make some money, and I usually do. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes it's just a time where we hang out and we chat, and that's okay. That's okay. Ducky, you went on a hike. Hey, Ducky. Ducky? Hello. I only just now paid attention to your address because I'm shipping your box out to you. And I know your area, not like really well, but well enough because, my father's retired from UC Davis. And I lived there till 5th grade. And then when I went back to school, I started at junior college and then transferred to Davis and then finished at USC. But, yeah. And I had one of my best friends lived in your town for, good Lord, at like 15 years or longer, moved from Berkeley, met a man, had 3 kids, yada, yada, so I know it a little bit, but I know the area in general. And I remember going to a roller derby when I lived in Davis in like 2007, 2008. I think it was there. I went to a roller derby, women, and it was awesome. I just thought I'd share that with you. Okay, so this is, I do 2. So for people who don't know me, I'm Lucinda. I live in Northern California. That's where I ship from. I do not have a male person that comes to my house. I live off of dirt roads that are very well maintained, but they don't come here. I go into my small town and take my packages. So I do 2-week build-a-boxes. Saves me time on invoicing, packing, and I don't run down to the post office, every other day. No, I generally go about once every 2 weeks. Yeah. So this is the end of week 2. Build a box. And so what will happen is I will start invoicing out 48 hours, 72 hours. So by the end of this coming week, everyone will be invoiced. People will pay hopefully by the end of that next week's first week of March weekend. And then that following week, everything gets shipped out all at once. There may be 1 or 2 lags, and they get really caught in a lag, So if you don't want to be in that system and you come in and you're just buying 1 or 2 things, that's fine. Just tell me or email me right there and say, I want my 1 or 2 items to be invoiced, within 24 hours and shipped out within 3 or 4 days. And I will do that. Okay. What is a roller derby? Yeah, explain that one. What, Heidi, you know what it is. You just probably know it by a different name. So yeah, and I invoice through PayPal, and I ship using Pirate Ship. And starting in April, it will only be jewelry that I sell, and it will be in the priority mailboxes. So it'll be a set price for anything that fits in the small flat rates to the medium. Yep. Easy peasy for me, Lucinda. Easy peasy for me, Lucinda. So I have, as always, I just have a whole bunch of stuff here. Some of it you've seen before. Some of it you haven't. I know some of it you haven't. And yeah, we're going to get right into it. Ducky, that is totally what it is. It's a sport on roller skates where hot girls beat the crap out of each other on a rink and score points. LOL. Yep, it is. I loved roller skating. I had friends who roller skated all the time. Guys who skateboarded or rode some of the first mountain bike trailers ever was invented where I live. And the ramps, the skating ramps, I know people who are famous in those arenas from that. I liked roller skating and I went occasionally, but it wasn't like my main deal. But man, when I was a little kid, anyone remember the metal skates that you made wider with a key so it fit whoever? And so I didn't have a pair of metal skates. So, but my best friend did. So we would each wear one and kind of pretend skate. Hockey? No, it's more like a race. And it's, 2 teams of, I don't know how many people, Ducky. 8, 10, 12? And it's a little aggressive. But in that way, yes, like hockey, it's a little aggressive. Okay, so I am going to start. I'm going to start with a couple of bangers. I'm going to dare to try to do this again. It is aggressive, but they're hot women. I mean, I don't know. It's like football. What do you want, right? It's like a rodeo. And I love Wrangler butts. I don't know what to tell you. Oh, my lordy. Okay, I'm going to try this again. Okay, and it starts at 150. It is Dead Pawn turquoise brooch, and it starts at 150. So many of you who have been with me religiously 3 times a week, God bless you. You know what this is. For those of you who don't, Dead Pawn is an object of some tribe of Native Americans. I've recently learned they don't like to be called indigenous. Native Americans. And they would take this is probably Dene or Dene or Navajo, because it's a pawn ticket from Arizona. So I'm guessing, but that is a Navajo territory. So Dead Pawn is something, until I purchased this, I didn't know what it was. And I'm willing to keep it, but I'm also willing to sell it. So Dead Pawn will come with the tag still on the object. That's really important. If you don't have the tag, you cannot verify in a real manner that it's Dead Pawn. So Dead Pawn means this is what happened, and it probably still happens. The reservations, for the most part, the people there are very poor. And so in order to get through the month, they would take their gorgeous handmade jewelry to the pawn shop and get a very small amount of money and pay it off by the end of the month to get it back, because this is their wealth, right? But so often they could not get their wealth back. And so then it became a dead pawn, meaning it was never claimed at the pawn shop, and then it was resold, right? So in this particular case, this is the object we're talking about. Look at this incredible turquoise. It's huge. I went through a thing and I put the wrong price up, and it doesn't matter. I went through a thing. I'm starting over now. This is a new thing, new day. Here's the back. This says a lot about how old this is. Let me look at the clasp. And the clasp. Let's see if I can get that in focus very well. Maybe this way. It's really thick and it's rudimentary. It's not turn of the century. But it's just constructed from those 3 wires and embedded in the silver. This is sterling silver. It's very thick, super long, and then it's just got your basic fold over ring clasp. It appears as though there's a marking on there, but I don't think so. Generally, this was just made by the family, and it was for the family. It was their decorative ceremonial wear. And you can see on this one, see right here where it's punched or hammered. This is hammered. So you can actually see the lines right there. In addition, what you can see on this one, this is a really interesting way to date pieces of jewelry, is the sawtooth marks of. So instead of prongs, this has what are called sawtooth, which are the prongs. It holds the turquoise in, right? So the turquoise is put in, and then these are there, and that's what holds it in. Instead of, if I had an example, but you all know what I mean. A prong here, a prong here, a prong here, a prong here, right? So in this piece, you can see that these teeth, I'm trying to find a good one. I think this is a good one, are not even. See that? And I'll show you with the loop. They are not even. So that helps us date it. Right there. That helps us date it because not until the late 40s that's my remembrance, was there an actual jeweler's tool where you could saw the sterling silver in perfectly even, kind of like how we have tools today, right? Perfectly even cuts. These are hand cuts. So that tells us this piece is older than the 1940s. At least that is my knowledge, okay? In addition, the color of this turquoise, just all the workmanship. I find it interesting that right here, they didn't close this. And what this looks like is a huge squash blossom, right? I mean, that's what it looks like to me. And it's a brooch, but honestly, that would make, like, you could have that taken off, but you'd ruin what it is, and make it into a belt buckle. This piece is worth at least double, if not closer to $500. Hi, Ellie. How are you? This piece is seriously $150 is incredibly cheap. So how do you know Dead Pond? It has the bag, it has the ticket, and you can read on the ticket all about this person's name was Robert John. They even have his social security number still on here. And this was pawned in September 8th, 1990. The interest was 2%. How interesting. So the amount loaned was $30. They gave this family jewels for $30. Yeah, it's like an actual squash blossom, Heidi. You know, like on the squash in the garden. And it has a special significance for the tribes. You would have to look that up. Sure, it has a lot to do with, thankful for food, a certain type of food. So they pawned this for $30. They had to prepay $32 to get it back. They signed it. Replacement value is only $75 at that time. Good Lord. And then it says sold on the back, and it says that they paid $30 pawn out. And then miscellaneous $37. This pawned item was redeemed by payment of the total amount due on 8/24/92. And then supposedly there should be the borrower's signature. But it was given to them in the 1990, then loaned money 91. So right there, I'm like, what? Piece number 273. And then they say that a total of $37 was paid back, which means it in 1992. So it took either 1 or 2 years. It's confusing. But I don't think it wasn't sold. So dead pawn means that the owner did not reclaim it. Someone else paid the $37, which is what they valued it at. They revalued it at $75, but someone else paid and got it out. Maybe a relative, maybe they were doing a kindness. I really don't know. But so that's what dead pawn is. And I have this starting at $150. It is absolutely incredibly beautiful. It is 2 3/4 inches long and 2 inches wide. It's gorgeous. So, no problem, Ducky. I was still talking about that. So, it's available. It's available. It's one of those items that if someone doesn't, I don't think I'm going to show it again. I said that before, but I decided to go ahead and show it today. I don't think I'm going to show it again. It's going to go in my store. So, either you decide that you're going to buy it or not. That's what I was saying, Ellie. But you would have to be okay with taking apart something that's, probably from the 20s or 30s or 1910s to the 30s, the pin back off and having it soldered into a belt buckle. And once this piece is out of my hands, anyone can do whatever they want. I think it would make a beautiful belt buckle. Yeah. What is that? It's been cold, and then now it's been in the like 75 for 2 days, and it's going to get cold and rain a little bit again. And I have yellow jackets that like hibernate somewhere, maybe out in the workshop over here. I don't know. And if it gets above 68, they come out of hibernation and they're like, "Hi, is it time to come out and play?" And I'm like, "No, go away." Okay. So now I'm just going to offer something up for sale that I think these are stunning. This is going to be your choice Victorian glass black. My comment is so far up there. Where is it? I mean, my banner. There you go. There's two. Oh, Heidi, it's way too. This is like a $500 item. I don't think I'd do that. Yeah, there you go. Good, Ducky. So this is choice black glass buttons, Victorian. $14 a piece. Let me entertain you. Let me show you both of them. I mean, and Heidi, you have to understand, like, the original people's jewelry and the whole history of America, and why that type of thing is valued so much here. It's beyond a mere art piece. If that makes any sense, I hope that helps. So this is glass, black glass. For all I know, look at the old melted in metal. Isn't that cool? And I'm just calling it glass. You see the design there? You can see it coming through on the back. It is domed. A lot of this is my fingerprints. I'm sorry. Obviously, it's antique, so it has wear. Hi, cat. What's going on? Yeah, Din is always good. So there's this big square one, and they're glass. Listen. These are glass. I sent Leslie an email about the whole Jabbit thing. I know that was lucite, but it tapped like glass, and I am really bound and determined to be scrupulously educated and clear, even though it sometimes sounds muddy. If something taps and it sounds like glass, but I know it's lucite, but it sounds like glass, then I'm going to say, you know what? It's lucite, but it sounds like glass, because I don't want to mislead anyone. So that's what I had to do, even though I know it's lucite. So I sent Leslie something and tried to clear it up. This is a smaller, really gorgeous, teeny tiny little squares, round black glass button. It's not teeny tiny. It's about, I'm trying to do this so I don't drop it. It's about half the size of the black one. Now, these, believe it or not, these buttons are actually getting hard to find. I know that sounds nuts. Like, what do you mean, buttons? But yeah, I've been told by people who are really, really knowledgeable who've been doing, auctions and whatnot for 30, 40 years that something like this you should never sell, and that they are getting really hard to find. And people have button collections on button cards. And yeah, just one of these is worth probably maybe 20 or 25. I know that sounds crazy. So anyway, look how cool. I just thought, so there you go. Your choice. Button, who's got the button? These are way beyond your mama's little abalone or lucite buttons. These are, wow, Victorian. Queen Victoria. 140? 150 years old? Get out of here. Get out of here. They can't be that old. Somewhere. Let's just go with 110 to 150. I mean, come on. Wow. Okay. These are going back in the bag. I know that they are here. And they make me nervous because they're glass. I know they're thick glass, but you hear that? Clinks. Makes me nervous. So it's not going in. It's not going in my basket filled with stuff in Heinzel's. Okay. We did those yesterday, so they actually need to go in here. All right. Well, we're kind of on this, older glass theme. So these are going to start at $23. These are, okay, I don't know. So these are one of those things that they're red glass earrings. They're they're screw-ons starting at 23. I have had these in my eBay box because it's one of those. They're so rare and they're so cool. And oh, hold on. Wait. Well, no bloody wonder. Okay. So they're from the 50s. No, excuse me. Western and Eastern Germany. 70s? 80s? When did we divide? Did Germany got divided after the war? Right? So late 40s, early 50s. The wall came down in the 80s. That's what happened. So on the back here, now that's another thing. When you're looking for stuff like this, or you're at an estate sale, or you're at the flea market, look around for the hallmark. In this case, the hallmark is on here. And that's the first time I've noticed it, only because I'm really looking at it and talking to you all. Often it's right here, or it might be here, or there might be nothing. But in this case, it's right here, and it says Western Germany. Copper backs. And then this. Western, so they're wired on to the back. There's a little base on top of the screw back clip, and there's wires that go through. Western Germany made some of the most outstanding costume jewelry I've ever seen. And I love these. I love to look at these. And if they need to hang around with me for a while, that's okay. These actually move. And for a long time, they're bright red. Let me see again, change my ring light. For a long time, I wondered if this was coral. But I think it's just glass. That's another thing. I mean, how do you tell if it's glass or coral? Well, I think you have to have it in your hands, and having a presidium would be nice, right? Otherwise, you just kind of have to go off of what you see and how you feel. And it has these rhinestones embedded within it. Like, for instance, coral. You would see so in general, I would see some type of the natural living coral in the pieces, or the beads would be put together with other things in such a way that you would know, like Native American, or something from the Mediterranean area, so such that you would know that it was coral. This, to me, doesn't have any white anywhere. It's all uniform cherry red. So I can safely say that I believe it's glass. And they're just, God, they're just so beautiful. Here's a good way. See in there? The copper and the prongs holding it together for the wiring. And these are dark, dark cherry red. They're not showing that way to me. And these are unusual. They're Western Germany, known for its high quality. And yeah, that's what's happening. That's what's happening. Hi, Billy Dog. What's going on? So now I'm going to put these down. I am going to invite. Yes. Thank you, Kat. I was going to say, I am going to invite you, the chat, to chat with me. Exactly. You're going to see the imperfections, and you're going to see the porous. You might see, and usually would see. I wish I had coral here somewhere. Ooh, I do. Look at this. You're going to see the white coming out somewhere. It's almost a given. And I'm going to say, I invite you to share with me your knowledge, because I'm always learning. And so Kat is helping me and helping you. And that's exactly what I want. Aren't they, Kat? That's why I've had them in a box since 2001. Hi, Billy. So now this is coral. See the imperfections? See the white? Totally different animal. See that? Totally different animal. Bright red, but it's got the imperfections. So, that's a high compliment coming from you, Kat. You know quite a bit. Thank you. So we're going to pass on those. I have a lot of passings on Friday. Now we're just going to go down the red genre for a minute. This is a modern piece. Yeah. This is a hot cakes. This is silver plate. Now, I know that it's a modern piece, but some people might not. Look at this really nice older clasp style. Look at the chain. definitely made to look like an older chain, right? Then it's got the coral on it. Yeah. Then it's got this. I haven't showed you the front yet. And look at this. You can tell it's got silver, but it's just a silver plate. I tested it. But you can tell by the patina. And then this is obsidian or onyx. Not sure what the lemon yellow stone is. And then here's this. Is that an actual? That is some red glass. I'm not sure that it's coral. And I don't think so because it is so bright, bright red. Now, if it did not have this tag, it could very much be misinterpreted, right? Howsoever, and it does have 925 right there on the clasp. However, the true giveaway on this piece for me is the lady who looks, this piece starts at 22, please, is this beautiful lady, to me, a la Frida Kahlo. This is acrylic. She's got that gorgeous outfit on, evening dress, day dress. I don't know, is that her gardening dress? I mean, come on, good Lord. Look at the steps behind her. That reminds me of my family home. Basket of flowers and roses in her hair. So everything about this piece is meant to look, Hotcakes is a vintage revival look. Even this lady here with the acrylic, someone could think, well, that's a picture of someone's mother from the 1950s. Everything else looks so old if it didn't have a tag. So it's a beautiful piece. You see that? It's a beautiful piece starting at $20.22 starting bid. But if you didn't have the tag right here, it would be really easy to assume, and I would assume until I did an image search, and many estate sellers, maybe flea market people, etc., would assume incorrectly that this is an older piece. I think Hotcakes Designs came out in the 90s. I think this is from the 90s. Yeah, well, you know, they're a local, I think they're a local Bay Area. I don't think they're around anymore, and I don't think they lasted very long. But it's a beautiful piece. And for the price, I like it. It's got so the tag also makes stop doing that, 1.5 inch extender, but it is going to be a shorty. This is going to be, let's see, is this a 14 or a 16 inch? 14, kind of 15. So this is going to fall without the extender right here. Right here. Let's do like this. And I think it's gorgeous. I love this. I love this lady. I love the stones. I love the coral. I love that this is silver plate. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it at all. But it's not. Oh, cat. I don't know why I'm always so surprised when someone bids on Fridays, especially. cats in cats in at 22. Well, Billy, you know, uh, don't just learn from me. You know, I know enough to be dangerous, but there's a lot of things, like all the precious sterling silvers and gold and stones that are like $500, $300, whatever. I'm just learning that. So cat's in for 22. Someone would have to come in at 23 or higher. Ohio? Do I live in Ohio all of a sudden? Or it's going to be sold to cat. We can go ahead and say fair warning and count her down. Cat, she's so gorgeous. I actually wish she was my mom. Hi-ho, yep. Hi-ho, hi-ho, hi-ho. It's off to work we go. I swear. Ducky, are you here? I'm going to say fair warning. Nobody's coming in, so I'm just going to say sold. Ducky doesn't have to be here every second. Sold to cat. For cat. I'm so glad you're getting it. It's gorgeous. Thank you, cat. I love her. Love her. I'm happy that you're getting her. Now, what did I just do? Oh, I see. Yeah, I've had this just a little while, not too long, and I likes her. So I'm happy she's going to you. Boy, I said this yesterday, but I mean it. I put in this whole Amazon order and didn't order organza bags. And I'm going to be out of bags. And so I got to see if anyone up here in my valley knows. Thank you, Kat. If anybody's. I know, Ducky, it's fine. If anybody here knows of over the top of the world road craft store, some crap, maybe a Walmart. I don't like Walmart, but doesn't matter. That sells them. Okay, I'm gonna do. As long as so we're on a red theme. I've done this recently, but we're on a red theme, so I'm just gonna keep rolling on my red theme. This is gonna start at. This is gonna start at $33. It is. Hi, Helen. Thank you, Kat. You have enough of your own. Oh, how's it going, Helen? So this is a red multi-banded old. These are old beads strung on red cord. Necklace. These are really old beads. How many strands? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I think there's 16 strands. Now, these are just red ceramic beads. Okay. It is gorgeous. This side has the old stamped cap. It's a brass tone. There is there's where it folds over. So they just had that piece of metal and then they folded it over. And this is on, like I said, red cord. Do you see that? Cotton thread. So that dates it. Cotton thread pretty much stopped being used to make jewelry by the 60s. I mean, that's like kind of, I don't know that like 100%, but in terms of the things that I get in my hands and I touch and I feel, it seems to have stopped being used somewhere around the 50s, 60s, and they moved to the like fishing line type stuff, and for before that metal wire, and then now they use both wire and that fishing line, right? These most likely these beads, because they're all different, they're not uniform in size. Because they're not uniform in size, because they're really old red beads, I suspect, but I could not prove it, but I suspect that they're from another country and they could have been trading beads. That's not a guarantee, but that's my suspicion. Up here, you see the red cord tied on? Up here is the metal, and these red glass beads right here are a much brighter red and would remind me of coral if I saw any imperfections, but I don't. But look at how just simplistic that wire is that's put together there to hold the beads on at the top. And you will notice that on this side, you have your large red, brighter red bead and your small, but no cap. The cap is gone. With age, it disappeared somewhere. Then you have this. You have this is a split ring. This is a basic, brass tone clip. And then you have this heart dangle for an extender. I am going to say to you, this is not original to the rest of it. No, it's cute and it's fancy, but it is not original to the rest of it. And this, it's a lot of beads. It's heavy. This is beautiful. This is one of those like all you need type of items. This with a tiny pair of like stud earrings. I wouldn't do dangles with this at all. So the longest it comes down to is about 22, 24 inches. And then see how it just lines up like that? This is about 16 down to, about 22. It's quite stunning. Okay. So we were on that red theme. So I just thought, let's just keep rolling. And remember, Helen, you could tell us stuff about jewelry, right? I'm teasing. I mean, but honestly, Helen, this is a communal thing. So if you ever have anything to say, like, wow, I had one of those, or my mom had one, or, you know, I think it's coral, or I've seen trade beads like that, or I don't think those are trade beads because of ... whatever. Pipe in. Tell me, please, because honestly, I don't know everything, and I am telling you all what I know, but there are pieces I'm missing. Absolutely. And I've had this for 30 years. There are pieces I'm missing. So I'm thinking that's because it's cord, like I said, it's 50s, 60s, or earlier. But because it's a stamped metal cap, and we were doing that turn of the century, but not as often. I don't think it goes back into like the 20s or 30s. The beads might. Thank you, Ducky. And thank you for that reminder, Ducky, as well. Like, for instance, that might go really well with these. Look at that. What is that? This is me. I was sorting all the earrings I've been selling, and they came from God bless her, home with cats, and there was so much fur in there. I had to take a Claritin. It was just like, I can't handle this. Okay, so this is gonna start at 15. These are old seed beads. These are put on. Now this is also a cotton cord, but I know that I got this at the flea market in Berkeley in the 80s. And these are really old African trade beads, but I know that they were gathered up and put on a newer cord and then brought to the flea market. So again, it starts at 16. And I wore this around my wrist multiple times, wrapped forever. So if you are a crafter, or you just like to wear something that has a lot of different things, this would be great for you. You see these, the ones that are cut, like blown and then cut like rod with the stripes, orange and green, the tiny seed beads. See this? This one's hard to show. There's so much going on here. See that? Those are 2 pieces. Here's a tiny little one. So you all know about trade beads, right? It was like money, but it was beads to decorate with instead. I mean, that's pretty much all I've got to say about that. I mean, we, in the Americas, different peoples used shells. You know, today, think about the spiny oyster. Think about turquoise. Think about the Heishi beads. Think about, abalone. We traded. We didn't have currency. So this type of stuff is a currency. And it goes on and on and on. And so what's really cool about this to me is just that I know this is really, old. What do I mean by really old? 60s? I can't presume, based on the way the beads are. that it's older than that. But look how it's just rough. These were hand done. They got the tube. I don't know if they blew it or if they got it elsewhere and then cut it and smoothed it themselves. I don't know. I don't know enough about trade beads in that way. I just know that they're trade beads. And they're all glass for the most part. Some ceramic, like the striped is kind of, yeah, that's hard to say. I'm going to leave it alone as to whether it's glass or ceramics. But at any rate, it goes on and on and on and on. It's 2 strands. It's got every color under the rainbow. There's the cord. But because I know, only because, so this is a kind of a tough one. Only because I know where I bought it do I know the provenance, right? I know that I bought it at a flea market. However, this cord like this, unless it is like supposed to be there on the Tibetan prayer mala or something like that, that would not be there, you know, as a necklace. If this had been made as a really nice necklace, like the red multiple layered one, this wouldn't be here. This would be gone and it would just be the necklace. Hi, Jen. How are you? So it's super, super long. You can wear it as a necklace. You can take the beads apart and craft with it. It's a beautiful thing. And like I said, I just used to wrap it like that. And super long, 30 inches or longer. Yeah. Thank you, Jen. I appreciate that very much. Did Tanya and Doug finally end? Tanya kept looking like she wanted to go on, but she also wanted to just like go hug the baby, and she wanted to go eat, but she wanted to keep selling. But she, it was, and I had to stop paying attention around 2:00 and get my own stuff together. Oh, you did? That's right. You left. That's right. You went out sourcing because I remember Tanya at one point saying, "Is Jen still in here?" She either had something I think she had something she thought you might be interested in, but did it sell or not? I have no idea. I don't remember. So welcome into my sale and chat, where I do the best I can to tell, my community, my friends, what to look for in costume, primarily costume jewelry, and people tell me what they know. And things are also for sale. It's always a slower day than other days because of that. But, that's okay. Okay, so I'm going to bring this up now. This is, oh my God. This starts at $65. It's a brooch. It starts at $65. No, sorry, 75. I'm sorry, 75, Ducky. This starts at 75. This is gorgeous. It does have an issue. It would be really easy for a jeweler to fix, and it wouldn't cost that much. And this is pretty stupendous. So what is this? Who knows what this is? Jen knows. I'm quite sure of that. This is this gorgeous old pattern. I think this is like a 1950s pattern, and I think the 60s started getting more heavy into like the grapes. I don't know why. That's just what I see, and I don't know enough still to say that. That's just what I know. Oh, good, Heidi. Get some rest. So this is onyx, this big black cabochon. I don't know if that cabochon is even the right word for a rounded 2/3 bead. This is sterling silver. These are soldered balls. It is hollow inside. These kind of remind me of a crown, but they're leaves, right? And you all know the grapes, the grape design. And I'm going to read this so I can, we know what it is. All of you should know by now in general. It just says Mexico and silver. So, in this, the way this is set up, you could put a bail through here and put it on a chain and wear it as a necklace, a big, beautiful necklace. You would want a big, thick chain, right? Or a big, thick piece of leather. I would get a bail and a chain. It's hollow. So since it's silver and Mexico, I know that this is like Texaco, right? Style jewelry. It doesn't say that, but I mean it is. And since it's Mexican silver, and I do know that it's sterling silver, it's probably 800, 8.5. It's not 925. It has not been polished. I generally leave the patina alone. Now, here's where the problem is. Here's the brooch. So see, that's like 50s, 60s. There is no ring in here to stop this from coming out. And quite frankly, the way that it's soldered together, there really isn't room here unless it was a tiny, tiny sliver to have a roll down clasp, and usually they don't. I'm unclear if it had a roll down clasp that's missing that you just need to get a piece put in here and fixed, or if this should be pulled down to hold the pin in more. But I would take it to a jeweler. Cabochon is right. Thank you. I would take it to a jeweler to have that figured out. Unless you know what you're doing, I wouldn't do it. Boy, sometimes ring lights are so annoying. So you see the crudity of the pin. That's another way. Just the two loops and then just the pin held in between, like the bar going across. And it's beautiful piece. So you all, and I could polish it, but like I say, I don't. I generally don't polish things. It is a little over 2.5 inches long and 2.25 inches wide. It's an absolutely beautiful piece. It's not super heavy because it's hollow. And there you go, just for the future reference. And I think I would take this off. You can just cut it off. And instead of having a jeweler fix that and put a bail, have a jeweler put a bail here and find a nice thick sterling silver chain and wear it as a pendant. Look how nice that would be. That's just my humble opinion. Okay, and Jen, since you are here, Jen can correct me. Jen, aren't you the go-to? Well, there you go. A brooch converter. What is a brooch converter, Ducky? Seriously, I'm dead serious. What is a brooch converter? I've never converted. I mean, it's already a brooch. So you would use a brooch converter. Like soldering on a whole new brooch? Ducky, what do you mean? I'm very curious. Curious as I can be. I want to know what that means. Oh, got you. Okay. Okay. That's good information. So it's a bail that slides on the pin of the brooch so it becomes a pendant and it's removable. Well, that would work. That would be the cheapest of all options, but you would have to make that pin, you'd have to permanently pull over with needle nose pliers, knowing what you're doing so you don't break it. And it's pretty solid. And see, the pin doesn't stay there. The pin doesn't stay in. So if you did that, it would not remove because you would put the converter on, you would pull it over, and that would be the end of it. Why? Ducky, we just went through all that. Where were you, man? Ducky. Ducky, we just went through all that. Because it's missing. Okay. See, to me, this is a style that tucks up under, but it doesn't stay in, which means it must have had a tiny piece that did a roll that is gone. So if this doesn't stay in, you can't. If you put the converter on where the pin starts, right. But then this has to stay like closed, doesn't it, Ducky? Ducky, doesn't this have to stay closed in order to do that? Ducky, tell me, because maybe I don't understand you. Doesn't this have to stay like this? It doesn't have to stay closed. Really? Okay. Well, I'm going to look into that. Because if that's the case, then I will get a brooch converter and make it such that someone, and then get a nice chain. But the pin isn't centered, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, Ellie, I'm completely confused. Ducky, I tell you what, if you have such an animal, would you send it a picture to me? Or maybe a little video of you like putting the thing on and taking it off and explaining, because I'm lost. Okay. Thank you, Ducky. I'm lost. Okay. This is just your more basic modern wire wrapped. This costs this starts at 18. I think that's what I paid for it. It's like a cat's eye. Someone called it something else. Leslie did the other day. I call it cat's eye. I'm sure you're not crazy. I just don't get it. Someone called it something else. It's similar to the brown stone that I was bringing. It is wire wrapped. It is a bracelet. I call it cat's eye because of the way the color moves, but there's another name for it that Leslie used. And I don't know the proper name, and I'm okay with that. It's a beautiful blown glass wrapped in copper wire, starting at 18. I think that's what I paid for it. I think I should start it. Duckies, please start this at 20. It's just got a little flower hang tag. There's not much to say about this. I mean, this is pretty obvious that it's modern, right? It has a hook closure. I just think it's beautiful. I think it's beautiful. Yeah, and it's glass, but it's very much moon glow. So everyone here would know that this is modern, right? Doesn't mean it's not beautiful, because it is. I suspect that these were a pretty penny, and then someone went to a lot of work to wrap these. That takes some time and some skill. Oh yeah, Ellie, the stones are fantastic. And it fits me, and I'm a 7.25, and it fits me with that much to spare. So I think it could go up to a 7.5, and I also know that it could drop down to a 7 with that extender. I think it's very pretty. Just a simple little bauble. Yep, it does. Look at that. I think $20. I think I paid around 18. I'm not sure. And I thought that was a steal. I honestly feel as though this is probably worth 30 or 40. Yep. But everyone would know. Everyone would know what this is. So there's not much to talk about. It's just an offer up for sale. I love it. I love it. It's just that at my age, like, I was given this charm bracelet for Christmas, and it just fits me. And if I take it off, I'll never get it back on unless I get one of those bracelet helpers. So it's just staying on for now. Okay. We're going to pass. I don't do recaps, and, I only stay on as long as I stay on. Generally not more than 2 hours. And I know I started late. I'm sorry. We are going to do a Gaspar. That was just talked about in Doug and Tanya. Someone brought it up, and someone said, yeah, that's apple green. And maybe that was Jen. I don't know. I don't remember. This is modern. This is made by a woman, the same woman that with the other necklace that I bought. She is with the Dine, Dine, Navajo in Arizona people. And this piece with the Gaspar and the mixed, some people call it, I think, like a sea jasper, and the shell heshy beads. Starts at 155. There's no sterling silver, and originally Native American jewelry didn't have sterling silver, and other jewelry as well might, like they might have taken in Mexico the Spanish coins and melted them down to make things, but that was only way later. So there this is. Hi, Leslie. How are you? I hope you're doing well tonight. So this, her last name is Fur Cap. I bought this last year. She oiled it. It is brand newly made. Her mother is a renowned weaver, and her brothers weave and make jewelry. None of these little bauble things are sterling silver, okay? They're just something she threw in. They're a very poor family that travels from fair to fair trying to make some money. So all these beads, so she's Navajo. She has Zuni relatives, and all of these are hand carved, hand processed beads that they get and they make. And I'm kind of showing you like the overall picture, and then I can show you the rest of it. Here's the cap with the clasp, not sterling silver. I don't think that's relevant, but many people do. I don't. They're a lovely family. They're there every year. And they don't sell much because people are there to ride the rides and, look at the. I bet her mother used to come because we have sheep up here and we have a whole building with wool from the sheeps and items made out of that. I bet they used to travel with her mom. Her mom was a renowned, and she was a holdout when they closed the reservation. She was like, I'm not leaving. You cannot make me leave my house. And she did not. Look at these tiny little he, she, or heshy beads. And see this? There's two. Good Lord. What am I trying to say here? Two strands. Different sizes. In between are little shell beads. Hi, Maria. How are you? Welcome in. How's it going? It's nice to see you. And then this is that sea green. A lot of people, so this is, I made really clear with her. This is not turquoise, right? This is not turquoise because a lot of people would see this green and the matrix with the copper browns and whatnot and think, oh, it's a green turquoise. No, it's not. It's GASPIER. No, GASPERIETE. It's like an apple green. And this is all hand cut, and see that. And then, I mean, this is her artist liberty, right? She did that. It's a one of a kind. Look at how gorgeous these pieces are. Now that is still the same name mixed in with copper and other minerals. And I'm sorry, and a little bit of turquoise, I believe. At this particular moment, I cannot remember the name. There's a name that they call it. So let me show you just the bottom here. This doesn't do it a lot of justice. And is my thing on orange? It's a ring light and me all day long. There you go. Yes, Leslie, exactly. Isn't it beautiful? And she oiled and polished all of these freshly carved beads, and they carved these pieces. I mean, they do all of this. So that will wear off the more that you wear it. She thought she was making it, pretty and modern. And she did make it, for this season's selling. Oh, sorry. Well, it is. Uh, I think people, as far as the friendly stone, I think people say it in both ways. So it confuses me as well. And because it's a relative newcomer on the scene at the moment, it's not seen as having as much value as turquoise. But I don't think that's going to last. And because I actually know the woman, I know her history, I spent a long, long time talking with her. I feel very confident in everything that I'm saying and everything that I know about this piece. And it's long, it's about, I think it's probably about, well, move my hair the best you can. This is always the way it is. It's about 24 inches. Yep. And I would not feel confident about something like this if I had not, if I did not already know, because I had been listening and paying attention to other resellers who sell this type of stuff all the time, all day long. And if I didn't ask a lot of questions, and she gave me her email. I literally even emailed her several questions, which she so graciously answered like 2 months later, just to be 100% clear when I brought it up for sale that I knew what I was doing. Okay. So there you go. Thank you for looking. Well, you guys don't laugh at me. This is why this is our time to talk, right? Because people say Gaspar and Gas, it's like this French thing. So, and again, my forte is not, this even, see here, has red on the bottom. In some places, there's a little red in the browns. I am not a semi precious stones girl. I'm a costume jewelry, and I'm just expanding myself out to oh, all of that. And so that's why I asked so many questions. And when I saw it, I knew what it was because of other resellers and me listening and learning, because you can never stop learning. You can just never stop learning. At least, well, I suppose you might think you could stop learning and maybe you would choose to, but I don't choose to do that. What else? I have all this stuff. I just don't know. I just really don't know. Okay. I did this recently, but let me do it again. And I'm gonna pick a few more items. What time is it? My timer will go off. Ducky. Thank you, Ellie. Oh, wow. That would be awesome, Leslie. I haven't been to a gem and mineral show since the 90s. Yeah. And that was a lot of fun. I got some great stuff there. So this incredible, and this is where someone's going to correct me, and that's okay. I don't know the name of this, and I don't care. To me, it's gorgeous bohemian glass. This rhinestone bracelet is going to start at $38. It's going to start at $38. Please and thank you. And I paid a little bit more than that, and it, again, I could keep this in my jewelry box and stare at it every once in a while, but I'm at an age where I have so much jewelry and I want to wear my jewelry. I am not sitting around coveting my jewelry all day long anymore. So this is one of two things, and I believe this is a bohemian glass. Again, to me, it's like marbles. I mean, that's what I have to say about it. Why everything has hair? Sorry, it's blue, and it's got like that slag glass ribbon going through it. Prong set, really big and thick. And then the most beautiful light blue glass rhinestones. Prong set. And there's 3 of these. The one in the middle is larger than the 2 on the sides. I love the way the puddling on the back is really cool. Hi, Deborah. Oh, yep, that makes sense, Deborah. It's just beautiful. And then here is the back, the puddling, the way they soldered and put it together. And this thing is, early 1950s, late 30s, and it's still perfectly intact. Not a single thing going on. And this glass is not foiled. That is the light blue with a tinge of white streaks going through it. Here's the connector there. See, and to me, people will debate, and I don't get into that. This can be early 50s or it can be late 30s, even 20s, this class style. So, I call it 30s, and I'm okay with that. Here is the fold over clasp, very deco. That's another reason why I date it a little earlier than the 50s. Oh, cool, Deborah. Today was wholesale only. Oh, so you couldn't go then. And this is a collector's piece. This is one of those, not your average rhinestone bracelets. And if you can still get these on and off, and if this is a type of thing, look at the sparkle that you want to wear, which is all that I wore for 20, 30 years, this is a perfect piece to get into your collection. It will close on me, so it fits a 7.25. And it would fit down to a 7 as well, and it would be more down where this other vintage fleur-de-lis, like 50s piece is, would fall down there. And I hope that that slag is showing. Sometimes it's kind of hard to get it to show, but it's just gorgeous. I mean, this stuff is just incredible. And the thing, this is still out there. You can still find this. Some people don't know its value. Some people do. So there's no foiling in there. It's clear other than that. But it is one of those items that the quality is getting harder to find. So, like I say, I'm going to be 65 on 4/20. So, I don't need, it's almost a purple blue. I don't need to just keep things in my jewelry box and stare at them. Nope, I don't. Okay, what is in here, if anything, that I feel like talking about today? Ooh, okay, let's do this. So these are Running Bear, and I'm going to ask you, chat, to tell me all about them. So, chat, this is where you step up. What are they? They start at These start at 60. 65. These start at 65. And even at 65, they will sell for more. Rhodochrosite. Okay. And what else? And who the heck is Running Bear? What else is on there? Now, see, we were just talking about how to tell the difference between just a bead versus coral. Thank you. Versus coral. It's some beautiful coral. And this is a bear paw, right? And here, I can put this pin back on so they go on that way. I guess because they're heavy, they would be too heavy with pierced ears to go this way. But man, I'd love it if they went on like that. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter. You could put it like that, but I feel like they'd flop. They'd need a tighter something. Running Bear is a trading post. I love you, Leslie. No, Running Bear is actually a famous artist. I believe he's it might also be a trading post. It really probably, I mean, I would not be surprised. I think he's, good Lord, I don't want to say. I can't at this moment because it's late. I don't want to say if that's, I think that's Zuni, not Navajo. See the bear? The fetish bear with the RB in it. Sterling silver. These are gorgeous. Trading posts. Yep. Oh, well, that's true. That That is true, Leslie. That is something that I have learned, that not only Running Bear, but many of the like well-known designers have multiple artists coming through their shop. Yep. So was it designed by him, or was it designed by someone under his tutelage? I don't know. That's too deep for me. So they are sterling silver. I don't weigh my sterling silver and all that, but I got to tell you, these are very heavy, which is why I was saying that. The post seems to make sense to go like that, but I would want it to go up like that. But they're so heavy. I don't know, top heavy, kind of like me. I don't know if it would stay like that. Oh, well, so then it's an artisan studio. Ducky, Running Bear is an artisan studio. Thank you. And then, it has the authenticity deal. Yada, yada. Comes in the original box. Actually, I assume this is the original box. But I don't know that this is the original box. I don't know. Yeah. Oh, so it is a trading post made up of artists. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I thought you were making a joke, Leslie. I honestly thought you were making a joke because it sounds like a joke. Okay. Yeah. So where is Running Bear located? Did you learn that from Leslie? Maybe Ducky? Leslie, where is it located? Nevada, Arizona? Is it Zuni or Navajo? And by the way, they are for sale at $65 if anyone's interested. Navajo. Okay. So it's Navajo, not Zuni. Yeah, I kept feeling like Zuni wasn't right. But again, because I'm learning, I'm okay with that. And that's why, I always say I know quite a bit, but I don't know everything. And I know it's Native American design, and I know it's Running Bear, and I know what these stones are. And if I wanted to get into the whole thing of measuring the sterling silver by grams, I would, but I don't want to. I don't want to. Maybe one day I'll go there, but I don't want to. I don't want to. Okay, this is a really simple buy it now for $18 brooch. $18, and it is signed by the artist. Yeah, 100% Ducky. When I started selling vintage costume jewelry, I had to learn all the makers. I relied on other resellers on eBay and in the shops I went into to tell me, who is this person? What is that? And, and they're scrupulous, unscrupulous, whatever. And I got all the books and I studied and I just dived into it nonstop for years. It's the only way. And my head was just stuffed with this information that most people didn't care about, right? But I did, and I still do. I am always still learning about costume jewelry. And now I'm shoving into my head semi-precious. So it's a lot. But I'm okay with that. Just because I'm 65 doesn't mean that I can't learn. Oh, yeah, books help. Books help, but the problem with books, I'd rather at this point do image search with knowing what I'm searching for, with knowing that more than half the people out there are idiots and are just copying and posting a bunch of stuff that other people are and they're wrong. And with that, because most of the books that are out there are really out of date. And so, unless I was doing like depression glassware, I went through all those books, and there isn't. I have a mineral and stone identification book that helps a lot. That helps a lot. So that was weird. So this starts at 18. This is one of the most beautiful Russian lacquer hand painted brooches I've ever seen. It just pops. The colors. Now, if I had not said yes, yep, I agree, Leslie. That's why I just said that I don't just do a search and come up with this image, for instance, or something similar and go, oh, that's, turn of the century, blah, 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 and then I see that 5 other people have copied and pasted that, but 100 other people have said something else entirely. And if you follow down the rabbit hole and really, if you know what you're doing, then you get to what the heck things actually are. So that's why, yeah, no way. No way. And the book I got on the mineral identification, I bet, Ducky, the mineral and stone identification book is really helpful, and it's really old, but it helps a lot in this new journey I'm on. And then all of you and other resellers. So I'm serious. The colors are usually not as bright and shiny. And then there's the artist, and it's, got the embedded safety pin. So, Russian or Polish, maybe. Moving to the tourist trade, 50s, 60s, something like that. Oh, yeah. Right. No. AB rhinestones have multiple. Yeah. Everything is a Juliana. No, not everything is a DNA or a Juliana. There is a lot out there because they worked with so many other companies. But yeah. And you can't rhinestones. When did we start doing yeah. Yes. Right, Ducky. AB coding started more like what? The 50s, 60s? 50s, 60s, not pre-war. Pre-war, the bracelet that I just showed with the bohemian glass and the clear blue glass, that's old. But it's hard. And you know what? This is a little over 2.5 inches long by 1.5 inches wide. And the other thing is, this is so pretty. This would make a great tiny belt buckle. It's just, this one is special. These are not like super uncommon, but this one, the artist is kick ass. There you go. Yep. That makes perfect sense to me, Leslie. So the other thing for me, Leslie, is I make mistakes. I make mistakes. I make mistakes, and I will continue to make mistakes, and I learn from those mistakes. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes, I still have a misconception in my brain. Hopefully I learned, but I don't always. And the other thing is, I'm not going to panic about it. I mean, I see and I hear other resellers who are like, oh my God, I can't believe back in the day when I sold this whatever for, $60 and it was worth 500. And I'm thinking, well, but you probably only paid $10, so you made a really great profit. So do you have to get top dollar? I mean, that would be really nice. But people can't even pay top dollar, and they don't want to. They want a deal. So, you know what I mean? It's kind of like, yeah. It's kind of like, yeah. That's how I feel about it. Okay, I think I'm going to close tonight. There's not a lot of buying tonight, which is okay. I've got Tuesday coming up. Oh, no, I don't. I won't be here Tuesday. I won't be. Due to development. I won't be on Tuesday. I have a dental appointment. So I'll be Thursday, Friday, which is okay. So, Leslie, you don't say anything. I cleaned this. This starts at 33. What is it, y'all? It's a brooch, but I mean, what is it? You're mortified? Oh, see, I wouldn't be. You're still mortified. I wouldn't be mortified. I would just be like, well, I didn't know any better. And, it's okay, because dumb things come out of my mouth every time I have a sale. Every time. So this starts at 33. I cleaned it. Do y'all know what this is besides a brooch? Oh my God. Hold on. Yeah. Nobody's going to play. I think you guys are the only ones talking. At any rate, this is gorgeous filigree work. Look at that. This is the very intensive hand wiring. I didn't test this one first. I did. So what I can tell you is about this, Leslie, is I tested this for sterling when I first got it, and it is my memory that it is sterling, and I have testers stuff here. And then because I do that sometimes, and other times I just don't. But I know this is sterling, and you can say what you want about it, but this is just me. I'm a little more easy breezy. I know it's sterling because I was able to clean it. Before I cleaned this was black, black, black. And I could test, the edge right here, but this wire work that still has a lot of black in it is so, or I could test right here, is so delicate that I'm sometimes afraid to even hold it. It's such a gorgeous flower. And then it's got, yeah, it's my understanding. These are from Italy for the most part. That's where this fine wire work was done, just like all the Murano work. The Italians are great craftsmen. So my understanding, this was made in Italy. There's a lot of the tourist trade. This is pre-tourist trade. So the tourist trade made a lot of, and I have them, like sailboats and more common objects. This is a 3-tiered lily flower. Or, I mean, that's what it looks like. Although a star lily usually wouldn't have 3 levels. You just sold one. Yeah, so you know. And this work, it just takes hours. Even cleaning this, I was so careful. And there's still the little black in it because I don't want to break it. And I think a little bit of patina helps to show it off. And then see the stamens, the little tiny silver ball sticking up. Everything about this says sterling silver to me. And especially the fact, if it was, so learning moment, in the crude pen is another really good way to date this. If this was not sterling silver, anyone who's still watching, if this was not sterling silver, and I tried to clean off all that black stuff, it wouldn't clean because it was meant to be there as some kind of faux patina, right? This really needs to be dunked in something. Or once the black cleaned off, it wouldn't be a bright, shiny silver like this. It would look like, a pot metal or something. That's just something you need to have it in your hands. Isn't it? This is a special one. It's not the tourist trade, sailboats, etc., which I have a few of them. And it is big. It is big. It is about 3 inches in diameter. About 3 inches in diameter. And you can take a toothbrush, or if you have like a dunking solution, I think I would prefer that with this one. You could get more of the black off, but I wouldn't want to take all of it off because it helps to delineate the design. And that is so fine. That wire, just be very gentle. People watching on the replay who may purchase, you know who you are. Be very gentle. Okay, I am hungry, and I don't know. My timer hasn't gone off, but I don't know. What is this? Email? Wait a minute. Hold on. We'll do one last piece, and then that's it. I gotta go. I like patina too, and it's a beautiful brooch, Deborah. I don't know if you wear brooches, but in the fact that it stands up so high and the petals are long. Yeah. This is I have it backwards. Very collectible costume jewelry brooch. Ugh, and I always screw this up. The name. I always want to say tortellini, and that may be how you say it, but it surely is not 100% right. It's a little bit more rare of a find in your costume jewelry. It's pretty desirable if you're a costume jewelry collector. And it is, I wrote on here, and I wrote everything about it. It's from the 1960s. It's gold plated leaf on pewter. It's TOROLAINI. See, that is just not right. It is Tortellani, and then there's another name, and I think it says gold. It's hard to tell. Hard to tell. Yeah, these are awesome. So this is going to start at 28, which is a really good price for this. Look at how beautiful this is. I love this. The maple leaves with the stacked up acorns. It says 1960s, but with the way this black patina, it's more like a 1950s to me, but I'll just go with the 1960s. You know, like the Renoir, Matisse whole thing. That's what it reminds me of. And then, and remember how we were talking about the more kind of grape leaves with tax coat. This is none of that. But this is maple leaves with what looks like pine cones, not acorns, pine cones. What the heck is wrong with me? Pine cones. But pine cones would not be on this type of leaf. So I'm just, there's the artistic license. Here's the back. So there's the brooch. I mean, and the other thing, as far as I'm concerned, is this can be used to hang it as a necklace. I do not know if that's what the original intention was. It's a very thick, strong piece, but that's what I would do. It's a really, and the best that I can remember how to spell the name is like this. And that's not quite right. And my loop, because there's another signature, I believe they were brothers, because there's the other signature that goes right over top of it in cursive right there. My eyes are just not wanting to focus on it. And it is, I think it's almost, it's like 2.5 inches. 3 inches. 3 inches long and 2.25 inches wide at its widest. And so, just so you know, Leslie, I do have silver and gold testing whatnot. And for quite a while, I was testing every piece of my sterling silver and or what I thought was gold, because someone called me out in a incorrect kind of manner. And so I was like, well, okay, so, I'm going to let you know that I do pay attention. And, so I did all that. And if it's something, there's my timer. If it's something, like one of these rings, and I don't know the reseller and trust them really well, I'm going to test it for silver. But if it's a piece like that filigree brooch, which I know has silver in it, I'm not going to bother. But so I hope that helps. So I'm not, and I never say this is sterling silver or, oh, this is gold, or these are pearls. I say, I think this could be sterling silver. I think this, is plated. It really has that look, but I haven't tested it, but it really looks like that. But I will leave it up to you to decide. Something like that. So there you go. Okay. Well, today was very slow and I didn't show very much, but I showed up. I got it accomplished and yeah. Yep. And again, you know what? If I had a piece of sterling silver that left my hands and I didn't notice that it was sterling silver, or, and that person got a really good deal, but I made what I needed to make on it, that would be okay. That would be okay with me, honestly. And I want my friends to get a deal sometimes. Good for them, right? I mean, for crying out loud. I get deals. Why can't they get deals? Yeah. Okay. Everyone have a great week. I will not be around on Tuesday. I have to have dental work done. So that's not happening. But I'll be Thursday, Friday, and I'll start invoicing out way before Thursday for this 2 weeks. Build a box. Okay. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate you. Have a fabulous weekend. I'm sure I'll see some of you in lots of other sales. Thanks for